because it is completely on the other spectrum. I guess if you want to put these things on a spectrum.
Hunter's on the spectrum.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's why I think the Watership Down remake is going to be the best comedy of 2019.
Are they really remaking Watership Down?
With Benedict
They are.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, they're remaking Watership Down, and it looks like they're using 2002 CGI.
Yeah.
It looks
It looks like the same movie, but just like the blood will be in 3D.
yeah, it's going to be like CG and
If you've ever wanted to see innocent farm animals eviscerate each other because someone told them that someone needed an allegory for World War I, 2019 is your year.
Fucking, it's all I've ever wanted.
but it is on BBC, so I think that's why. Because like even Doctor Who's CGI and things like that, like their art, like cosmetic makeup, fantastic. CGI, terrible.
Doctor Who CGI is better than the stories they've been telling this season.
Ooh, I haven't watched the new season.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, I mean, you're not missing anything. It's trash.
It's good to know. Now I don't feel bad.
I wanted to watch it because I like the actress that's playing the Doctor now.
She's great in
but
it.
I don't know if because Moffat stepped down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried after he stepped down. That's not going to be.
It's not
Oh,
good.
because they've got a female doctor now.
Well, no,
That's a big
No,
deal.
yeah, I mean, it is, and she's fantastic.
I love
But-
her. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
But her doctor is not about anything and has no actual personality like the others have. And the new series, literally, almost like a PBS, like a PBS cartoon that needs to push like a moral lesson or something. It's an hour of exposition, non-character, and then a thump you over the head with "this is how to be a good person" at the end. Only it's SJW agenda pushing.
Oh shit! Is the internet's fucking fired up over it.
Yeah.
Well,
there we go.
And what sucks is Stephen Moffat, who was the showrunner and like the series director and writer, left the show, and he also did Sherlock, I think, which is also a phenomenal BBC show. But he left, and now there's like new writers and stuff, and so I guess they're trying to find their foothold still.
Well, I think
see.
the biggest problem with new Doctor Who can come down to the Rosa Parks episode. Well, that says it for one. That Rosa Parks incident is a fixed point in time, so something the previous Doctors wouldn't have fucked with to begin with. And the entire episode is about fucking with it because there's a time traveler that's trying to erase it. That's the sci-fi part. The way that it shakes out, to be real quick about it, is at the very end, the Rosa Parks getting kicked off the bus and all that and arrested and everything. That all happens because the Doctor makes the white member of her new set of teammates be the person to do it because that's how the episode, the circumstances in it ran out. So they, in attempting to be like, hey, we're going to push these agendas, and instead of telling a good story, we're going to talk about how important equality is and blah, 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 they decided to give Rosa Parks a white savior.
I can imagine somebody's fucking. Have we been on Twitter yet? Have we seen the blogosphere? If somebody's fucking mad about that, they got to be.
I'm sure they are. That's when I quit watching. It was like 4 episodes in or something, but I just got tired of it. Like, I believe that everybody serves a purpose on this planet and that they all deserve to be loved and that we all deserve peace. And I don't need my sci-fi, space opera to tell me that I'm a shitty person
Pushing its
because I'm
fucking
white.
agenda on you.
Yeah, and then I also don't need to be told that because I'm white, I'm not a shitty person because without me there, Rosa Parks doesn't get to stand for anything. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like the snake eating its tail, except it's a snake eating its own ass instead.
Isn't that the same thing?
Kind of, but we're going to run with it.
Oh, okay. This is the longest intro we've had.
It all
That
depends
metaphor
on
was as
how
confusing
close
as the episode.
It depends on how close the snake's asshole is to its tail. If anybody can send us pictures, please do so now before the podcast is over.
Sean Island,
What's up with that
we're
snake
looking
butt?
for you, buddy,
Show us that snake butt.
in ultra colorful HD.
That's right.
What is happening right now?
I don't know. Anyway, folks, if we didn't mention it, or if you didn't already discern it from listening to us rant about sci-fi, this is the Beacon House podcast, and we're coming at you here just a little week before Christmas. So
Tell them who you are.
Happy holidays, guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't. I'm Spence.
I'm Casey. Fuck. I didn't even mean
We
to.
can't do that
No,
anymore.
I know. I wasn't even trying to. That's so fucking tired I am. I'm so sorry. I'm Hunter.
I'm Hunter. Oh my God, I did it too.
I wasn't trying to.
And now I'm Hunter as well. So,
This is what the new season of Doctor Who is like.
Ew.
ew. Glad I fucking missed it. So anyway, what's going on, you guys? How are you? How are the holidays shaping up for you?
Eh.
I'm just
Like every
seeing
year.
red.
Oh, shut up.
Fuck up. God.
God.
You guys will hopefully find out what
Are you
we
guys-
mean
are you
soon.
guys-
Welcome back, Hunter.
Yeah,
by the way.
Thanks.
Oh, that's right. We missed you. You missed you last week.
Yeah, I couldn't be here because I slept in.
Yeah.
That's
Like
great.
a true professional.
That's awesome to hear. Especially
real
when,
tough.
especially when I spend most of my time being tired. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that.
I work graveyard shifts, but wake up early to be here.
Yeah. Fucking. We hope you had a good time. No, we're just. We're
How was
just
your
busting
bedtime?
We're busting your balls.
How was the bed? Did you sleep well?
It was fantastic. I had to prep for taking my wife to the ER 2 days later. So that was I somehow knew the Cosmos
Thanks for making
knew.
us all feel bad.
There you go.
But
That's
he
what I'm
didn't
here
know
for.
that on Sunday.
That's
Oh, never mind.
You're not listening to the new episode. I did know, that was the whole point.
Because of Doctor Who.
Not Doctor Who, Rosa Parks.
Oh my God, please make
You
it
took
stop.
Rosa Parks to the ER.
Please make it stop. Please make this end.
No, Rosa Parks took Doctor Who to the ER.
Holy shit! How did she get? Did she take him on the bus or?
Stop.
You're gonna have to cut parts of this.
Stop.
I just want to know how they got. I don't know.
Stop.
And here we are again.
No beatboxing.
So, guys, what's going on? You guys got anything to talk about?
Knoxville drivers suck. Casey.
So
Getting a wreck?
No.
Oh.
I feel like the traffic around here always sucks around the holidays. Like, just it's such a feeding frenzy, and we've even talked about how now more people are shopping online than ever before, and blah blah blah. And you would think that would maybe lighten the traffic up a little bit. Does not appear to be helping at all.
No.
I think George Carlin put it best. Anybody that's driving faster than you is a maniac. Anyone driving slower than you is an asshole.
Yeah.
I like the way that sounds. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much accurate, too. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think, have you been in a situation, and I know you're in a situation, Casey, where you occasionally have to like help people with their cars and things like that? Like you guys at the hotel run valet service.
It's the most terrifying experience that you could possibly think.
Here's what I was going to say. Have you guys noticed the increase in Uber drivers? Like that seem to just be everywhere, clogging up like all these intersections. And again, if anybody works for Uber, and we're not shitting on you or anything like that, but I feel like all the things that have taken cars off the road, like Amazon and what have you, it has easily been replaced or maybe even like multiplied by all the new people that are just constantly like Uber driving. Like we have a parking lot, and the parking lot is adjacent to a bar, which is a real popular destination for people to call an Uber. And man, there are times when like they'll just be totally clogging up my parking lot.
My favorite is we have a valet lane in front of the hotel, and Uber drivers will pull up there to wait until they get a ding.
Oh, they just want to sit there until they're not even on a.
Yeah, I've seen a dude reading a book in the valet lane before, and I go out there and I'm like, "Hey, are you picking someone up here at the hotel?" And they're like, "Oh no, I'm just waiting until someone calls me." And I go, "Yeah, you're gonna have to move your car. This is a valet lane." He's like, "Well, I mean, it's 4 cars, right?" And I was like, "But not your car."
Not you.
Yeah.
And he was like, this guy is just like arguing with me. And so finally I just took my phone out, acted like I called a tow truck company, and I got back there and read his license plate out loud, and he immediately moved.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I was like, yeah, his license plate is this, 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 and this. And when you show up, if he's still here, tow it.
Yeah. That's how my guy did too. He was real. I was like, "Hey man, you got to move your car. There's a lady trying to back out," and I'm like outside, and the guy was like, real shitty, and
It's like, not my problem, bro.
and the guy spoke real broken English too, and not that that's a bad thing, but I was trying to go, I was using hand signals, you leave, pointing at him, pointing at the exit, go, and he was real shitty about it, and then he just rolled his window up, and so I had another. One of my managers was out there, and I was like, "Call the cops right now." And when the guy saw us call, we did call him. He fucking took off, But I was like, "Dude, why?"
And you know what's weird? His taxis are still worse.
Yeah.
Are they? It's been a long time. I hate to say it. I totally supported the taxi industry when Uber started to become a big thing because I appreciated the, like the fucking commerce side of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying taxi drivers are necessarily better than Uber drivers. They definitely know their way around better because they've been more, like if somebody's been driving a taxi in the city for 5-6 years, they're going to know their way better downtown to all the hotels and which way to turn and which lights are longer. And
Yep.
they're going to know that shit, I think, better than like some guy from Farragut that's just trying to make a little extra money or something, you know?
Yeah, but the guy from Farragut has a smartphone with Google Maps, so
That's true. That's man, but I'll tell you what, that still slows you down if you're having to use GPS and Google Maps and stuff. For a lot of the delivery guys that just know where everything is, and they don't have to. They just go boom, let's go, boom, boom. That's what it was like in New York. If you ever go to New York, ride the cabs. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. You just walk outside, hold your hand up, and 3 of them pull up. You get in, you tell them where to go. They don't look at a map. They don't have GPS, nothing. They just fucking haul ass.
I've called taxi companies trying to find rides for people,
Right.
and all I get is, I don't have anybody. I'm like, you're a taxi company. How do you not have anybody?
Yeah, dude.
How is that possible?
Oh, and that's
It's like,
probably
sorry, I only have one person riding for the company right now, and he has somebody. And it's like, how do you have one?
I'm surprised that more local taxi companies didn't become technological and to try to compete with Uber and have an app and have all this stuff. Have you could pay with PayPal, whatever, you know, so that you get a local taxi guy and they try to like the same way. But I don't see them doing it. I feel like you still have to like dig a phone book out or something, or I guess Google to call the fucking taxi. And
My favorite is when you find a taxi card, like a
Oh,
little
yeah.
business
Oh,
card,
yeah.
and you call the person to try to get them to come pick you up. And you call and you expect like an operator to be like, hello, where are you at? I'll send somebody. No, it's just a person who has a van with the word taxi written on it. And so you call and they're like, hello. It's like, hey, I need a pickup. I'm nowhere near you. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like you're in bed, motherfucker. Of course you're not anywhere near me.
See, I don't like that though. That's scary to me.
I'm like, why
Just
did you
call
do
a
this?
random
Why don't you
dude.
just go work for Uber where you can clock in when you're working and not just,
Yeah.
give someone a card and go, call me anytime. I'm anytime, you know.
I don't know. The whole thing's messy.
I think
It's
people
messy.
should just learn how to drive yourself.
Dude, I'm like that too. But these days, it's getting less and less. Like a lot of people are like I know people now that think it's just a great idea to just Uber to and from work. And some of those Uber rides are like $16, and you Uber 2 ways. You're looking at like $30-something a day to get to
Yeah.
and from work.
Do they think it's better because it saves on gas or something? Because
They
that's
don't
not
have
right.
well.
either.
They think that it's cheaper than having a car, which it is 100% not. After you get the initial expense of owning a car down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think it's crazy.
That's
but-
because people don't believe that investing in anything actually works. That's the problem. It's always front loaded. It
Yeah.
always hurts up front, but then you own the fucker when it's done, and you save pennies because you don't have to buy something else again.
Yeah,
Get your head out of your ass and invest in shit.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you. Like, again, I'm going to give anybody a fucking economics lesson, but
Calm down, Captain Capitalism.
I'll tell you this: if
my middle name.
if you fucking buy like a 2 to 5 year old used car, all the depreciation's already gone out of it. If you buy that fucking thing, you'll get it at a massive bargain. And now in 2018, a 5-year-old car is basically like a brand new car. It's not like in the 90s where 5 years was like, well, that might be the life of the car. No way.
Yeah.
Just about any car you get these days, if you're not an idiot, is going to last you a decade or better. You get a 2 to 5 year old used car, all the depreciation's gone up. You pay that thing off, keep it for another 10 years. You're saving a shitload of money, and you can go anywhere you want. And again, gas sometimes is more. Gas lately has actually been really low, I think. But sometimes, fucking regardless. But gas and insurance is never going to be as expensive as like 2 $16 Uber rides in a single day.
Yeah.
I've never had more than a $10 Uber ride. I don't know. It was just
dude.
because. But when I lived over off Western Avenue, I would take Ubers downtown all the time.
Right.
And usually it was like $6 to $10, and I would tip them $5.
Yeah.
Just to be, because I don't think the app tips. I think they see a little bit of that. I don't think the app tips.
You can tip
So-
in the Uber app now, I think,
Oh, okay.
because Lyft beat them to that, and people were going to Lyft so they could tip, and drivers were signing up for Lyft over Uber. But I mean, again, it's whatever. I take Ubers like when I go to other towns. When I fly, and I don't have a car. I think it's great to take Ubers. I like meeting the people. I took Ubers in fucking New Jersey, Colorado, whatever. I think it's cool, but just I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like this, there's such a fucking industry these days behind service and like us having to do less. And I know that technology is supposed to make lives easier, but how do you feel about that? Like now, like you don't really have to shop anymore. You just sort of go on your phone. You don't have to really get a car anymore. You just go on your phone and somebody comes to pick you up.
I think it's wonderful.
I
You
think
sort of-
it's horrifying.
Well, and it even goes beyond that too. Like now, have you heard about all the other delivery services? Like, well, Uber's in on it. There's Uber Eats, but there's also like Postmates, which we don't have around here, but in other parts of the world, it's fucking huge. Uber, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub. So now, if you want something that's not delivery, you can still get it delivered. A guy just goes and picks it up for you, and you pay through the fucking like a bag of McDonald's. You pay through the ass for it because an Uber driver has to go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and get it and then bring it to you.
You'd
And
be surprised how much. It's not that much more.
I get it.
Like I've only experienced ordering fast food from Uber Eats once. Someone else was paying, and they ordered all the food, and I was like, "How much extra do you pay for that?" And they're like, "I think like $6 more," which I guess for McDonald's is 6 more cheeseburgers.
I was gonna say that's
But to have
Depending.
it, but to not have to leave your house, that's not.
see that's the trade-off though. It's
That's
the
the thing
comfort.
that I
versus-
wonder about a society where a drive-through window isn't enough. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't have to get out of your car, but that's not good enough. Like now, you don't have to get out of your house. You want all these things, but you don't want to move from the fucking couch.
Well, I understand.
them.
I understand what's attractive about like being able to spend all of your time doing what you wanted, and if you can afford it, sure, I'll pay an extra $5 or $6, and
Totally.
then have it brought to me. I get all that. What I don't understand is the fact that we are now in an age where, short of like an actual robot skeleton shooting people, but like the big corporate technology behind all of it, we are living in 1984 in the Terminator series. We're in that era now. It's actually happened. We walked into it, and with this stuff,
or Huxley's Brave New World. A lot
Yes.
of people say that we're actually moving more towards the Brave New World
it's fair.
fate than the 1980. But either
But
way,
because of that, like because this generation that grew up with it is walking right into it smiling, my fear now is, as absurd as it sounds, because it's a Pixar film, our next step is WALL-E, because of what you said, where the money doesn't matter, even though we want to complain about not having enough money because the drive-thru's too much work. We're going to be the fat fucks that actually have less bones than old man because we don't need them anymore because we're in those fucking power chairs where, you know, the Fremunda cheese on our nuts gets scrubbed off by a...
it's like Greg Giraldo. He goes, "We're going to evolve into this just giant fat ass with fingers to type." You know, we're
He's
just
not
gonna,
wrong,
We're going to
though.
be
That's
a
what-
huge ass with fingers and eyes, just
I believe
typing, you know?
more as time goes on that aliens are not interdimensional demons or extraterrestrials, but are indeed time travelers that want to know what life was like on Earth before. And that's why they have 3 fingers, no skeleton, and big fucking heads. That's all they need.
because they're just on Google all day.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast recently.
The Google people.
The Googles.
I was listening to a podcast recently where they were talking about this, and the guy said that he ordered groceries, and in the bottom it says notes, like leave notes for the delivery driver who's going to pick it up and bring it to you. And he says, when you deliver it to my house, put it on the front porch, leave, and text me when you're gone. And that's what he put. And he waited. He said he was looking out the window, saw the guy pull up, dropped the blinds, backed away, waited. The guy left, texted him, said, your groceries are on the porch. I'm gone. He opened the door and he was like, I never had to see a person. I never had to see a single person. All of a sudden, poof, all my groceries, like he's like 12 bags of groceries were on my front porch ready to go.
Yeah, there's grocery delivery service. There's so many things. And I get it. I get that there's, for the people who are not lazy, there's so much fucking money to be made off lazy people. I get that. Like the guy that started that company, who goes, hey man, I'm going to start a local company, blah, blah, blah. Here's the tax form. Let's get the shit rolling. We're going to grant small business, blah, 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 blah. He hires about 5 dudes that aren't afraid to shop. They make an app, and then all of a sudden they start advertising it, and then they're getting orders for like Mrs. So-and-so's fucking grocery thing, and they just go shop and they take it to her, and like, you could make a lot of money off of that, especially if somebody else doesn't want to do it. I get that there's an industry there.
I have 2 visions of this. I have one where people who are agoraphobic and or maybe have social anxiety and don't like going to the grocery store and shopping, and they find it hard to do, like they have a mental illness. That's great for them. My other fear is that, can you trust the people getting your food?
Yeah, no, you can't.
Like, I'm so terrified to order fast food from one of these apps and have someone else deliver it to me, because what if they fuck with my food and I just don't know it?
Well, see, and that's the next Waiting. You remember the movie Waiting, where they would fuck with their food back in the kitchen? That's going to be the next one. For anybody that's a dick, you're going to have this Uber driver that's just like pouring crap.
But how
all-
do you know that person's a dick? You're just seeing an order from an app.
Oh,
Like, it
well, you
doesn't-
know
Well,
what?
you don't know that the short order cook in the back of the restaurant is a dick either, but you know.
But you can avoid all of that shit by going to the store your fucking self and getting your own. I almost
I don't-
GD'd groceries.
Yeah,
I don't see
Whoa.
a big a problem as you guys see with this, because
That's because you're an optimist with technology, which baffles me. But I appreciate it in you.
it doesn't bother me. Like literally the other day, I went to Books A Million looking for a book. They didn't have it. Ordered on Amazon. It'll be here Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
It's not. I don't have any problem with that. Or
Neither do I.
Or if I felt really like didn't want to wait for it. Period. I could have bought it on Kindle for like $2 more.
Sure. And I understand the convenience, and I'm about choices. I'm not saying that having more choices. I think more choices is a good thing. I'm not saying we handle it well, but it's better than less choices.
Well, see, but what you did, Casey, is you went to a place, they didn't have it, and then you went to the competitor that did better than they did, and you chose them. That's good.
But there's
That's
also
competition.
times where I'm at home and I'm drinking, hanging out with friends. I can't drive to go get Chick-fil-A, but all of a sudden I want Chick-fil-A. Actually, hold that. I just thought of a chalupa. Now I want Taco Bell. What am I going to do? Why not pay someone to go get it for me?
That's a good use of Uber Eats if you're going to use it.
No, that's fine.
Things like
Hold on
that.
a second. I don't want people to think I'm lazy and weird. Let me hop in my car while I'm drunk and drive to Taco Bell.
Well, right. No, but that's what
hit a car.
that's
Now I
different,
killed the
though.
whole family.
That is different, though.
Is it different?
It is, because we're talking about the people that sit there and go, I could do this, but I would rather just play this video game or watch this TV
but
show.
also, why does it matter what someone else is doing with their life?
Because we live in a shared society.
Well, and that's the
No,
whole.
we don't.
Yes,
Not
we do.
anymore.
No, we do.
not.
That's the problem with it.
Well,
Who do you share your society with?
Every fucking person that you have to go into a store
But if
with.
someone's lazy, they're at home. You don't share your society with them.
Well,
no,
right,
that's
but
true.
then if everyone's
and that's
lazy,
the
then
ultimate
there's no
escape.
one
You
to
don't
serve
have to be one of those people. You could be whatever person you want to be. And again, you're right. You're right that it doesn't affect you if somebody else just like turns into this like amorphous mass that just has a phone and just orders people to line up down the street shoveling food into its mouth.
Yeah.
If you can afford that shit, by all means do it. That sounds like a nice little vacation to me, not to have to leave the house one day. I think the last day that I didn't leave the house was Thanksgiving, possibly, and it was wonderful. And I did stay home and eat. I mean, I cooked, but like I ate, But I just feel, and again, I'm older than you guys. I know that, but I feel bad enough if I go to a drive-through window in the middle of the night. I'm just like, man, I should have had like something healthy to cook. I should have been more responsible. I should have went shopping. And now the idea that it just at some point looks so easy. I personally just feel bad using some of these services. Like I'm never going to use a service that shops for you. I'm never going to do that. That to me is totally making it too easy on me. Yeah. But again, I'm not trying to. I don't necessarily want everything to be easier. I feel like if things get too easy for me, I'll just fucking fade into obscurity. I know myself too well that I'll enjoy it and I'll go, I'm not doing anything. But I wonder, my whole point of bringing that up, my always concern is what does this do to us as a race, as a society of people?
Oh, we're all going to become super lazy.
But that's what I was saying is bad. If we're all lazy, then there's no one to provide that service anymore because that person will also be sitting on their ass not doing
But we're
anything.
already at that point.
But no, because there are people that'll still do it, though.
I go to a restaurant and the staff there does not want to be there. And it's very obvious. Now,
Are we talking about Cinnabar again?
No, I'm talking.
Zing.
I mean, you go
Zing.
anywhere now. Anybody that is like in high school or just in college, they don't want to be there, and it's
That's true.
obvious. Like no one wants to work anymore.
That is true.
That's not unanimously true. Like I've got a couple people.
It's getting worse though.
It is
No, but
getting
we're
way-
talking generally. Not,
It is getting
Yeah.
way fucking worse.
I mean, there's always someone that's going to fall through the cracks. That's like an awesome employee, and they're
Well, somebody's just going to take pride in their job. And I've
Right.
got a couple of those people, and they are like, I respect them so much because they're just self-motivated. But what's funny is a lot of people go, well, if I had a better job, I would be, and no, you wouldn't. You say that, but that is always a fucking cop-out. If somebody can't be proud of their job or take pride in their job at any level, you're also not going to be able to do it at any other level. Like it comes from you. Like it's you know what I'm saying? If you encounter somebody that just does a great job, takes really, really good care of you, even at like a fast food place, sometimes you'll get somebody that's spectacular and you just go, damn, you're really good. Like, whoa. Like, and you know that like they have the same job as everybody else that looks miserable back there in that kitchen. And they just chose not to be a shitbag about it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for people like that, but you are right. It's getting way worse. And a big thing,
turnover rate in every locate, like in any store, restaurant, it seems like turnover rate is just like, I mean, it's quick.
dude, I'll throw some numbers at you because I recently had to sit through an all fucking day training thing from this corporate again, we don't talk about where we work, but the company I work for, I had to go to this thing at the Hilton Anyway, some of the numbers that that were thrown out because a lot of people are having trouble hiring and staffing their businesses, whether it's a restaurant or whatever, all over the nation right now, because unemployment is the lowest it's been in fucking years. I think locally here in Knox County right now, the unemployment percentage is like 2.6 maybe, which is insane. And what that means, I'll translate that for you. What that means is nobody's looking for a job. People aren't lined up just to get a job because their rent's due or whatever. And I don't think that it's good when unemployment is super high, because that means people are out of work and they're in the welfare system, and you know what that leads to, and like whatever. But dude, when it's like this, man, it's really hard to get good people, and that's why you're talking about services just going to shit nationwide.
So why not have someone deliver it so you don't have to deal with the shitty service?
Yeah, and maybe that
No,
person.
that's a fair criticism.
Well, and here's what I'm finding too: the people that are getting these new jobs. I'm talking like my old folks.
He's making finger
I'm talking
quotes.
like one of the boomers now. One of
Is
the
this
boomers.
your Australian accent or?
Oh, this is my old timer accent. This is my old timey. I came out of the mill.
Sounds pretty
Sounds like
Australian.
Adam Sandler doing an old person.
It
accent.
did. So shut up. But
Billy Madison is old now.
that's true. So, but what I'm saying is like all the people that have these new jobs, I'm doing air quotes in the air, new jobs like Uber tend to be, I think, I've had a better experience with Uber drivers than I have had with fast food workers in the last 6 years.
Well, they are in a dynamic workforce at that point too, because they're constantly doing something. They have one job they have to do,
Right.
not 7.
And they clock in and out on their own dime.
They do.
Yeah.
And they can listen to whatever the fuck they want while they're doing it too.
Yeah.
Like that type of comfort in a workplace. I agree with you. You don't want to be too comfortable ever, because then you will just fade away. But there's something to be said for that.
You might be the kind of guy when things get real easy, you spend all of your time like meditating and going to the gym and starting a small startup that benefits a local charity. But I am not that guy. When I get like for me, when things get too easy, I get too fucking easy.
Yeah.
And I just sort of like stop trying and like it just
Well, I mean, I'm good with challenge and all that, but just it's so fucking hard when you have to do like 6 different things at
Here's
once
another
and
thing.
have different expectations, but it's all at the same place. And
Yeah. Well, here's another thing too. Another number they threw at us at this fucking scathingly long thing. It was like they had a slideshow. It was bad, but fucking another thing that happened during it. They threw out another number. They said the average turnover rate for like a restaurant style business or whatever these days is 300%.
God,
In a year. Now, what that means is the entire staff is expected to quit and be replaced 3 times a year. That means the average, like, if you divide that into 3, that means everybody they hire, they don't really expect them to stay more than 3.5 months or something like that. That's fucking insane. You can't get a business to you just can't do that. That's a business that's constantly just making mistakes, having new people. It sucks. Nobody wants that. That's going to drive people completely out of business to do that. Like I've got people that worked for me for 15 years. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine like having a bunch of people that were just hired last week. Oh my God. It would be, I just don't think you can get good at a job in like 3 months.
Well, one thing I've noticed also with the decline in customer service and people's attitudes at the workplace, you've also noticed that higher ups don't really do good jobs anymore. Like they don't go, "Hey, you're doing a great job."
Yes.
It's
Yes.
all business. Hey,
Numbers.
put that out. Do this. Get that thing.
Numbers.
I need numbers so I look good.
yep.
Do this. Do that.
Yep.
But no one ever goes, "Hey, man, just want to let you know you're doing a great job." Which, when I was manager at the clothing department at a Target, or assistant manager, whatever, it was called team lead. I made sure to, I don't want to say make friends with people, but I definitely made sure to go, "Hey, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
You're doing
That helps
awesome. You're
so
doing
much.
Man.
And then
That's huge.
people would tell me, like other higher ups from up there, "Don't do that. You're not their friend." It's like, I'm not trying to be their friend. I'm trying to make them know that they're doing a good job.
Yeah, you're trying to make them not feel like
But
shit.
maybe those higher ups need to be reminded that you maybe while you're not there to be their friend, you're also in charge of the kind of day they're having, how good the morale is in the store, how that affects customer service, the general platitudes that has effect on the company ledger over the course of 8 months, 6 months, 12 months.
It doesn't make them money. They don't care.
But it
And
does.
that's how businesses are now.
No, I know, but it does make them. I'm here to tell them they're fucking wrong because it does make them money. if you take care of your people, the people take care of your customers. The customers are who has the fucking money. We talked about this a little bit on the customer service, but I don't want to get back into that. But like, you're right. A lot of businesses these days are being run on a spreadsheet. It's become so hyper technological that everybody simply just like, they're looking at, well, our comps are up a couple percent, and this is down a little bit of percent. Oh, we're having a little bit of a percentage thing over there. And then those fucking idiots who haven't been in the trenches where the business occurs, they fucking tell some district guy, hey, can you go into that city and get the percentages? The percentages are a little bit off. And so some fucking dude that doesn't know anybody drives to town, scares the fuck out of all the local people, like the district guys and the managers, and who are dealing with turnover and inability to hire anybody, and they're missing 5 people, and everything's going to shit, and they're getting all these bad customer reviews because now all customers can type in to the company, And so some dick goes in there and just ruins everybody's life over things that really need to be handled on the ground. You know what I mean? But
that actually happened where I work last
some
week.
fuckface with a laptop at corporate in 3 states away can't actually discern the problems that might be internal in a business. Somebody's got to go in there and go, okay, what's wrong? Is everybody unhappy? Why is everybody quitting? If they're not quitting, why don't we have enough hours? What are we going to do to generate more hours? Are the customers not happy? Why are our sales down? Why are they down nationally, or is it just us? Is every other business in town thriving and we're declining? Well, what are we doing wrong? There's these things,
I want to ask
it's complicated.
Both of you, because you've worked in higher up positions than I ever have in your respective jobs, what you think of this. Saturday was one of the worst days I've had in a long time at work. And it was directly a result in how bad it was, because it was already hectic. It's retail industry for listeners that don't know.
Retail near the holidays.
Near the holidays
Fucking
in
nightmare.
December. Yeah. So it's a nightmare anyways. But it was worse because of Friday. What happened Friday was very quickly, our store currently is understaffed for the holiday.
Yep, that's that unemployment
Everyone
thing.
is super spread thin because of that. Our shifts are irregular and not what they normally are, so everyone's worn out to begin with.
Yep.
So here's one of the, I hate, because it's so selfish, but it's true. I'm not the highest scoring guy at the place with bonus metrics as far as like what higher ups track and stuff, but
and let me just say something real quick. Please. I fucking hate that
I do too.
They track people and they base people's performances on like
a card,
how many cards you get people to fill out, or fucking how many email addresses you collect,
and that type of thing. Yeah,
I've been into your business, and you're easily one of the smartest, most articulate fucking people that works there. You're also one of the most pleasant to encounter. Like anybody, any Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks through the door is going to have a good experience if they come up to you and ask you a question.
Well, I appreciate that. But what happened was with
whether or not you sell them a fucking card,
right?
With
the metric thing, though, one thing that I do is consistently get them. The degree to which I do is it fluctuates, but I consistently get these things that the higher ups care about. That cannot be said for the rest of the staff, and I'm not shitting on them. It's really hard. Sure. And there are people, again,
especially when it has a price on it.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Most membership cards now give you discounts, and it's free.
Right.
This one has a price.
The other caveat, again, I'm not the highest performer at that rate, so I'm not saying, fuck all you guys, I get all this stuff. Just I consistently get them, so that matters for what happened. We're doing so bad and like having a consistently bad week or 2 weeks or whatever. I'm foggy on the details because I'm a peon. But
when you say bad, do you mean bad like sales are down, or do you mean it's too busy?
No, specifically for the metrics. I can tell you right now, sales are up because of how fucking busy exhausted and just bulldozed I felt the last 3 days.
Sure.
I know that we're doing fine for that. This is all metrics based, which makes it worse.
Got it.
But
nobody's looking at the people or their situation or fucking.
Hammer down thing happened with a higher up. It's not the people at the store. If any of you are listening, like I know that, and you guys are great. We're all a team there. But from people above them, someone found out, saw the numbers, got angry. All of us that weren't making our quarterly goal, at that rate, to which I apparently am not on the metrics, but again, I consistently get them, we all got written up. So I ended my Friday shift by having a formal write-up with my name and everything on it, and being told that I had to sign it because it was a write-up form.
Do they still have a place where you can put comments?
Yeah, I put a comment.
Fucking A.
But But I was written up. That was the first time I'd ever been written up, and that's something that you do for
Insubordination.
or
A
severe
write-up
things
is
like that.
specifically for some kind of a corrective
But
action.
it was the whole staff, and it was all based on metric performance, not performance of any other kind. There,
Can I
get your takes on that?
I think that's bullshit.
I think write-ups in general are fucking dumb.
Well, here's what. Well, you have to have them because sometimes you've got to have them because you have to have a paper trail. That's the reason. I think they're
Yeah.
stupid too. But in your case, and in the whole store's case, how are you going to write somebody up over something that? And I'm assuming you're talking about something a customer also has to say yes to.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
what
Yes,
if
yes,
just
yes.
everybody in one day? What if you do everything right and everybody still says no? One
You're not
day?
doing it right enough. Then that's the
their
mentality.
policy.
Yeah, and then and I know from being I was in retail for a little bit, and
yeah.
I was a pretty good salesman, and I never like some of the people had those problems. I didn't have them, but I get that. Yeah, okay, try harder. But when the whole store is failing, there's another issue in play there. You don't have to be a genius to look at that and go, the customers aren't interested. Well, why? Well, how about this? How about this? What if they maybe needed to spend a little more money making the store a little more inviting?
Yeah.
Maybe it could use a couple updates. Maybe it doesn't look like the fancy ass Barnes and Noble that's right up the fucking road. Maybe you know what I mean? Maybe people aren't inclined to go in there and spend as much money because a bunch of lights are out. Or see what I'm getting at?
No,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily your all's fault. But again, how are you going to write people up for something that is not so? Like if you worked for me and I caught you in the back and you were huffing paint or something, and then stealing money out of the register, I'd go, okay, listen, you're going to get written up. But that's you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a fucking.
But that's why I brought up the fact that I consistently get numbers, even if I don't quote unquote make them,
Right.
make the gold numbers.
Actually,
I
man,
get
personally,
some.
I wouldn't fucking worry about it because they can't fire the whole fuck. If they're already understaffed, unemployment's 2.6%. They're not telling you is you almost couldn't get fired in that situation. Now, I don't. That's bad advice.
No, I'm not worried about getting fired. I'm worried about the principle of it because I was fucking irate when I found out.
So I worked for this unnamed company for a very long time as well.
I will say the manager that presented it. Sorry, Casey.
No, you're
manager that presented it was very good. All three of you guys. I don't think you listen, but if you ever hear this episode, I know it wasn't any of you. You guys are great. But the one that presented it saw me go through the fucking roof as soon as I saw the paperwork. And she was like, okay, because I asked about the comments. Again, I didn't know. I'd never had it happen. And she goes, I want you to sit down, tell me what you want to put and say, and I'll tell you if you can put it.
I worked for the same company. I never, when I moved, I transferred jobs and worked at the same company down
I
in
forgot
Florida.
about that, yeah.
Here in Knoxville, I never got written up. I got written up a bunch in the Florida store because it was like, I guess. Anyways,
Different.
it was different, but it was also, I guess, rules were more
Enforced
there, things
or
like that.
stricter, maybe.
Every time, well, and they did it like once a month. If you didn't meet your, even though I worked in cafe the entire time, I was supposed to meet a quota for cards, and if I didn't, I got written up.
Yeah.
And so I'd get written up, and then they would be like, all right, and here's a spot. I'm supposed to tell you that there's a spot here for a comment. And I was like, what do you do with these comments? They're like, well, we have to put it in so corporate can see it. And I said,
Oh, that's so
Cool.
good. I feel great about what I
I'm
put
like,
now.
all right, cool, awesome. And so I filled out the paper, filled it out, signed it, and then in the comments put, don't worry, I still love you.
It's so good.
And then the next time it happened, I put, I don't blame you. And things like
This
that.
is
I
amazing.
So I just kept
gonna do this
basically
moving
doing
forward.
like really passive aggressive, like love things like
That's
I'm not mad at
incredible.
you. I still love you. Like things like that. And finally got to the point where like the fourth or fifth time the general manager was like, why do you keep writing things like this? Like she brought it out to me. She like held it up. She goes, why do you keep writing things like this? And I was like, I want corporate to know that it's not their fault.
That's incredible.
Like I want them to know that my, I come from a divorced family, but it's not their fault. Like that's
insane.
what I
That's
had to grow up
incredible.
with. And so it got like to the point where they quit. They finally like either talked to the district manager, but Cafe didn't have to meet a quota anymore for
Holy
cards.
shit, you actually
Amazing.
made that change.
Well,
in.
and
That's
I don't
good.
think I don't know if I made the change, but I definitely know that
Well, that helped,
they
I'm
got
sure.
super tired of it. And I would never ask.
Dude, it always goes like that. Like all these unreasonable fucking hoops that a company wants you to jump through because, again, some dick with a laptop in an office somewhere that knows nothing about the business, who, you know what I mean, who just literally fucking the paint's still drying on this guy from like, fucking grad school, business college or whatever, and he's up there going, well, they've got to increase the thing. Maybe have everybody sign up for a gift card. But eventually when everybody quits because they can't meet these unreasonable quotas, they fire that guy. And then they fire somebody else. And then all of a sudden, when you start losing staff that you can't replace because you have something is inherently wrong with your fucking company, I've seen, and again, you lose some good people because of, but eventually the company will either go completely out of business, which is maybe like what Toys R Us did, maybe because they just never fixed anything, or they'll go, we're not doing this anymore. No more quotas. No more fucking cards, no more quotas. Get out there and talk to people on the floor, find out what kind of books they like.
That's what happened with Target when they had the big data breach. All of a sudden, red cards aren't their red card, their membership card, or their credit card is not a big deal for employees to get anymore because it got to the point where people were like, "You want to sign up for our credit card?" People were like, "Fuck you and your credit card! You got them stolen. All our information got stolen because I signed up for this card." And Target went, "Nah, let's just we'll still use them, like we'll still sell them, but let's not promote it."
So I put what I put in the comment section because I wanted the person, because I knew that it went back to them, but I wanted the person that did this hammer down protocol at the store to see what I had to say, knowing full well, because I didn't put an actual quote, but I put like where you could find it, knowing that they probably wouldn't read it, but on the off chance, I wanted them to find it. I did not know that corporate sees these things.
They put it in a computer system.
Right.
I feel like that's what they did back when I worked there.
I hope it's still true because I hope somebody really high up is bored enough to see that and go, what the fuck, and like open it. I put a Bible verse.
Oh God.
No, but it's so fucking, it was,
Tell us.
It was render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and unto God what is God's, which was my way of being like, I know that I signed the paperwork, so I have to do this, but it's also bullshit and fuck you. Like,
and then the next one you should write like "Eat too, Brutus."
Yeah. I'm going to just continue down that line.
I think that's brilliant because what else are you going to put? Now, again, if you did something wrong, I get it. You're going to get written up or whatever.
I wouldn't put anything if I did something wrong.
But like, dude, when you're just like, I feel like that's a victimless crime. When you ask them, hey, would you like to sign for a card? Nope. All right, have a good day.
I also know the person that was in charge of doing this has never worked the way that we, like an actual shift like the peons do. They were hired from outside of the company.
That's
so
all. And
fuck that
again,
person.
that's what you get. You get somebody that comes in and they're just like, all they have is metrics. They have no actual experience. They don't know how hard it is to actually sell a salty ass fucking.
And they don't care either.
They just go, no, your numbers are down by 1%. And get, and then
that's what Casey was saying though. They're like, it makes me look bad, so fix it. That's their direction.
I want management. If anybody listening to this is a manager of a place, or you work as a higher up somewhere, if your mentality for morale in your workplace is, if I don't say anything to you, you're doing a good job, and I'll only say something to you when you're doing a bad job,
that does not work.
You're a loser. Like, that doesn't help. That makes it worse.
Agreed.
Because when you don't say anything, people think they're doing a bad job, and then when you do tell them they're doing a bad job, it just reinforces that I was right, I was doing a bad job, or I was, I'm clearly not, meant for this place, and that's when turnover starts happening really bad. You've got to tell people, hey, you're doing a good job.
Yeah. One of the things I read about recently that's a good thing to just tell people that you work with, whether you're their boss or not, but especially if you're their boss. They were talking about you don't know what kind of psychological trauma people are carrying around. You just don't know when somebody walks in the door, and if you just unload on them. And I know a lot of managers. I've been a manager that was like this, but I know other people too that they take things personally, and you get all bent up, and you just want to like lash out at somebody. And then like if you busted your ass to be there 5 minutes early, and then somebody comes in 5 minutes late, you almost take it personally, even though it's not. And the tendency to just like jump right down somebody's ass is huge. And you have to have standards. You can't just let people walk all over you because it'll all fall apart. But you just don't know. Somebody could be dealing with a breakup, a recent death in the family. They could just be having a horrible depression. There's just a lot of things that people are shouldering while they're trying to work for you. And they said one of the best things you can just say to people throughout the day that kind of makes their day a little bit better is to just to tell them, hey, I'm really glad you're here. That's it.
That goes a long way.
Tiny little thing like that. And they explained all the psychological reasons that kind of turns off a lot of the alarms the person would have, all the defenses, and kind of calms them down a little bit. But also, just the gratitude in that, I think, is a big one, is to just, and I find myself doing that to some of my people these days. Like, I'll just see, even a guy that I don't talk to a whole lot, I'll see him, I'll go, hey, what's up? I'm glad to see you. Or like, I'll try not to make it sound hokey, but what's up, man? I'm glad you're here. Just something like that. And it's huge. It goes a long way.
That's the thing with you don't have to be somebody's friend to be nice to them. And as a manager, you don't have to be a jerk and like rule with an iron fist. You can be friendly and you can talk to somebody. And if they do something, that's not technically on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's technically not policy. That's like maybe a little off, or maybe it frustrates you a little bit. You don't have to pull someone in the office and rip them a new asshole. You can just go, hey, the first offense, this first thing, this is how we usually do it. Especially with a new employee. I mean, you can't expect someone to just jump in and know exactly how everything runs right off the gate.
Right.
And so to pull them in and try to scare them with the fear, it doesn't work.
No.
Especially not in today's society. No way. Yeah, that's how you get high turnover.
Yeah, low unemployment and all that kind of stuff. Right now, people aren't going to take that shit. They have so many jobs that want them today that if they're not treated well,
especially ones that pay better.
Yeah, if they're not treated well, they're going to go, fuck you, I'm out of here.
And if they don't want to take that shit, you can drag them out to a swamp and let a crocodile eat them.
Nice transition.
That was
Spencer's
that was
other topic.
Great fucking transition. Okay, that's one thing I want to talk about before we wrap up here. You guys have heard about this thing on Red Dead Redemption.
We're talking about video games? Yes, please.
Yeah, well, the guy...
shout out party.
The guy had a shout out party chat.
Yeah, there, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you jumped on that bandwagon. You don't even know what
Shout
the fucking name
party
of the other
out.
podcast
We'll be back.
is.
We'll be back.
I said party out.
It'll be back next year.
Did you say party out?
I started to, and that's
What
why I stopped.
fuck is wrong with
Great.
you?
I literally forgot
I'm about
that
to
I
write
wasn't
you
Casey
up. We're going to write you up right now.
That's right. I still love you.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
But this guy had a YouTube channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. The guy had a YouTube channel, and he was playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Mm-hmm. Easily the biggest video game splash to come along since what? What was the last thing as big as it?
Red Dead
God
Redemption.
of War or Spider-Man.
Okay,
okay.
It's
It's
huge.
the third huge game this year.
It's
yeah.
fucking huge. And it's the most I've heard about a game since probably Fortnite, I think.
For sure.
Everybody's playing it. Like fucking grown married couples are playing it and shit.
Add that to the list, by the way.
Dude. But supposedly, there's so much realism in the game that it's just ridiculous. Like the horse's shit, all kinds of things.
Their balls go up when you go into the mountains and it's cold, and then the horse's balls come down when you're in the swamp.
I mean, you can literally just
amazing.
you can just saw animals apart. It's like gruesome. You can skin a rat.
Yeah, whenever you skin it, yeah.
Yeah, let's take a moment to pause and think about all of the creepy programming that had to be done just to put all these options in.
But that's
the game.
how Rockstar's done it since day one with Grand Theft Auto and.
Right. Do you know there's a new Grand Theft Auto coming out? It's like an online arena
Yeah,
fight.
looks stupid.
Well, it's Grand Theft Auto Online, which has been out since 2013. They're just adding a new update to it.
It's their Fortnite version, right? Or something.
No, it's like it's
called Arena.
It's like Twisted Metal.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It's like cars busting into each other.
Yeah,
It's like a derby.
Yeah.
I
I
like
saw an
that,
ad
actually.
for that. I think on the way here. But
YouTube guy, sorry.
dude. And so a guy who had a YouTube channel was filming himself playing Red Dead Redemption, and apparently somewhere in the game, there's like a group of women that are protesting against the Women's Suffrage Act, right? And because you have total,
They're
like,
basically fighting for the right to vote, is what.
right,
Because it's the time period. It fits the time period of that's when it started.
yes,
I think 1899.
okay, yes. And so the guy goes up. His character, and you have total autonomy in this game, so you can do whatever you want. But it's a game, and so his character hops off the horse, and you can fucking kick your horse, you can shoot your friend, you can do whatever. Like that's the big thing in video games now. Is that if you ever wonder what would happen if I went in that other building, well, now you can. And so he gets off and like slaps one of the ladies, right?
He punches her.
He punches the women's suffrage.
He goes up to basically he's walking around and this one woman yelling at everybody, saying that. And I will say the dialogue is, I'm sure, very period appropriate, but it's like very over the top, over dramatized, like Rockstar likes to do. It's very tongue in cheek. And the guy gets off the horse, goes up to her, and just punches her, knocks her out, and everyone lost it. He posted
YouTube
it,
fucking banned his channel.
They got super mad. So then people started taking videos and doing like throwing a stick of dynamite at her feet and watching her blow up, hog tying her and putting her on the back of the horse, taking her out of the swamp, dumping her into the swamp, and
And the alligators.
Yeah.
She gets eaten by alligators. So the alligator knows to eat the lady if you drag her all the way out to the swamp.
Yeah.
But because YouTube acted so drastically, everyone went, it's a Rockstar game. It's not part of the game that you have to go and do this. It's not something that they force you to do. It's just something that you can do Just like in
I'm sure you
like
can
Grand Theft
befriend
Auto,
her
like,
too and stuff. It's
well, I mean, and the big thing in Grand Theft Auto is like you go get a hooker, then you kill and get your money back. Like that's the thing people do. But that's the game that they make, and if you don't want to play it, don't play it. If you don't want to watch anything that's done by this game, don't watch
Yeah,
it.
and if you want to play, what if you want to play the game as a bad guy? A bad guy would do all those things.
Yeah, and that's what the big thing about this game is. There's a morality meter, and you can be good and be deputized in towns, or you can be super bad and constantly
on the
wanted.
run.
So,
yeah.
so the game even calls it bad.
Yes.
So when you do bad shit in the game, your morality meter fucking tanks, and you know you're a quote bad guy.
In fact, when you hit, like if you hit her or if you throw dynamite or whatever, you actually take a bigger hit than most other things in the game. Like
Okay.
it definitely punishes you more for doing it.
Here's the question. Can you actually, or it should, obviously you can be, thanks 2018, but should you be able to be persecuted for the actions you do in a video game?
No.
Hunter?
No, it's artificial reality. It's not.
Like,
It's
should
not
it,
real. It's role play.
yeah, I mean, I don't get, like, why do you think YouTube was so fucking quick?
YouTube cares about that person because it was a women's suffrage person. They don't care about killing hookers and getting your money back because YouTube thinks sex
Is
workers
this part of
deserve that.
the, is this, do you guys
Is what I would
associate
guess.
this with the Me Too movement and all that stuff?
No. I don't think the guy, when he posted that video, he just did something and he went, oh, that's kind of funny. People,
Yeah.
some people might get a kick out of it. And he probably should have thought, in today's standards, not many people are more people are going to find it offensive than they find it funny.
Yeah.
But it's his channel. He can post whatever he wants to it. And I guess in that sense, YouTube can do whatever they want with it because it's their website.
Yeah.
But I don't think he did it to be like, fuck women, screw the Me Too movement. I think he just did it because it happened and he went, oh, shit, I didn't think that could happen.
Like, have you ever been in a room full of guys playing video games? They don't go, I'm going to really piss off the fucking women's movement. And they just, like, guys are just like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, shoot this rock. Hey, let's go punch this bitch. Hey, fucking, go shoot this horse. Okay. I mean, it's just almost not even like,
It's caveman brain.
it's almost not even premeditated because you're just playing a video game and you can do silly shit.
That's why id Software's name is so good. It taps into your id. You
know
just
what?
become the reptile inside of you.
Well, what's funny
Why
is
it's an escape.
You just scared the fuck out of me. You got all serious. You just said it becomes the reptile inside you. Did you fucking know you just said that? That's
Now,
an awesome band name.
Here's something that happens in the game that you don't hear a lot of people talking about because it is completely on the other spectrum. I guess if you want to put these things on a spectrum.
Hunter's on the spectrum. Sorry.
There we go. There's our blur for the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was playing Red Dead Redemption
back.
2 and I was going from town to town because in that game you can fast travel, but riding your horse around is way more immersive. Like it's more interesting to be like riding along a path and someone comes out and be like, hey, can I get a ride? And they try to steal your horse and you shoot their head off. It's that kind of game.
So you don't have Uber take you to the waypoint?
No. So I see torches out in the middle of the woods and I'm like, that's strange. And so I go out there and sneak up on it and it's a bunch of KKK members about to light a torch on fire or a cross on fire. And they're all like sitting there having dialogue that's super, racist and not okay.
Did you kill 'em?
And I took a stick of dynamite and threw it in the middle of the group and blew them all up.
Damn right.
But you know what? No one got their channel banned for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No,
a
I'd
double
heard about
standard.
that. I heard that they dealt with a lot of that stuff.
Because when I was playing with a friend in my chat, and when it happened, I laughed so maniacally and out loud. They went, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Nothing." They're like, "What did you just do?" And I was like, "You know that video on Reddit?" And they're like, "Oh, with the KKK members?" I was like, "I found them," and I did the same thing.
Shit.
But it is a double standard, though. That's like, as stupid as he is, that's why like Spencer and I were not for Alex Jones getting ostracized the way he was. At the end of the day, it's fine to do that to the KKK guys because they are shitbags, but because these corporations say they're bad, we don't like them, fuck them, whatever. But the women's suffrage person, who arguably you wouldn't do these things to people in real life anyways, but that's someone that was important.
You're on
so,
real thin ice here, buddy. Like I don't know where you're going, but I'm concerned for you. that you're going to get a lot
No,
of...
I know what he's
No, the
saying.
KKK
Free speech
is-
applies to everybody.
Yeah, they're stupid and they shouldn't fucking
yeah.
You
be
have
a
to give
thing,
them the mic.
but-
If you're going to give the women's suffrage lady the mic,
Then
you
they
have to
have
give
to
it
have
to
the
the
mic,
KKK.
too.
Yeah, you can't just go, anybody can come and state their opinion,
And then you
except
have to
those we
trust-
disagree with. You
and
know?
then you have to trust your fucking society to have common
But
sense and civil
unfortunately-
discourse to say, hey, fuck those guys.
Hey, I don't
they
like
had
that.
their
Yeah, imagine a microphone where every single person that types bullshit on the internet can stand at the microphone and talk to society.
Too bad that's not what we live in today.
Well, it kind of is. It sort of is. That's sort of what all the comment sections of every YouTube video and Twitter feed and
Or
like
Facebook.
I mean, the whole point of free speech, though, is like the KKK have their costumes and shit, too. You see them coming. They have the right to do whatever as long as it's civil. They can walk and then they can talk, but you see them from a mile away and you go, oh, it's those fucktards, and then just go another direction.
Right,
Or if you have to be
right.
where you are, just put some earbuds in.
Yeah,
It's fine.
hiding the dregs of society does not protect us from them. It makes them harder to single out.
Yes, that's
if you
where I
see a
was
bunch of douchebags like peacefully marching down Main Street in KKK outfits, at least you fucking know where those guys are. You can see them clearly in society. You can steer away from them. You can choose not to be like them. Blah 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 blah. But when they're hiding in the office right next to you or whatever like that, and because nobody's
Spencer.
allowed. Well, I'm saying nobody's allowed
yeah.
to say anything controversial. You don't actually know who might have dangerous thoughts, and all I'm saying is that's another reason I believe in free society, and I wish that people didn't protest for terrible things like racism, and I wish people didn't ever make a speech about why it's good. But I feel like you got to have like the same laws that make it possible for them to speak. It also makes it possible for me to speak against them. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We all have to play by a set of rules that is either people get to talk or people don't get to talk. And one of those, I think, is more dangerous than the other.
From my understanding, the guy's got his channel back.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I
he
heard,
deserves it.
I
That's
heard
good.
he's the guy. That's what I was going to say. I heard when they gave him his channel back, he was the guy that went back
And did it worse.
and drug her to the swamp and let the alligator eat her. Immediately put that on YouTube.
I wouldn't
Good
doubt
for
it.
him if that's what he
Honestly,
did.
that like when that happened in the video game and he got his channel banned, Rockstar even came out and was like, "Look, there's a morale meter. You can do bad things. You can do good things. We even have an instance where you come across KKK members and you have the choice of doing the same thing."
Sure.
And I think that's kind of in the same vein of what you're talking about. You're going to give the mic to one, you got to give the mic to the other. If you want
Yep.
to give a
Yeah.
stick of dynamite to one, you have to give, or you have the option to give the stick of dynamite to the other.
Yeah, you have to have the option. That's the thing.
That's kind of the big overarching thing is what is the right thing if the wrong thing is not an option?
And let me just say, the small details that this game puts into it, like the amount of work that they put into this game is unreal. Like
Engine?
He's right.
it's so unreal. Like you go, like
I've not
say,
played it, but I've read about it. He's totally right.
say you're walking around town and you hear somebody having a conversation and they talk about like, you know, something that, I came across this house. These people were super friendly. I'm not all for it. It's not my thing. You can go and find that house. Like they'll talk about like, you know, the whereabouts of where it is. You can go find that house and meet those people, or you can meet those people on your own. Like,
like
there's
that.
not like a quest that leads you to it. If
Also,
you,
I think it's worth talking about the music that's in this game. Our buddy,
it's incredible.
Our dear friend Rachel Reitz was talking to me about it. She's been playing it a lot, and we actually went on Spotify and she played me a bunch of the music from it. And it's a whole type of music that I have never dipped my toe in the
It's
pool
so
of.
good.
You've got old, weird, classic Western sounding things, but with like kind of like trance beats. So you sort of have like a trap or a trance beat. So you've got like an electronic kind of a like an ambient thing going on, but then it's like old fucking Western music, and I never heard those two things mashed up together. And it was like some of the tracks were fucking like hauntingly.
Unshaken by D'Angelo is
one
by
of the- yes.
far the greatest song.
And if you type that, if you look at that, I think that's how we started. If you go on Spotify and look up that song, and then just go at all the suggestions from there, you'll find crazy things.
Willie Nelson did music for it too, I think.
Dude, yeah. It's supposed to have some of the most chillingly, beautifully haunting music.
Casey played some for me. It's fucking
I think I played you the Unshaken.
yeah.
Another thing in the game is you work for a debt collector, and it's part of like how you make money for your camp, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And if you beat somebody up and their kid witnesses it, later on down the road, they can come after you.
I like that.
Yeah, fucking A. Anyway, well, guys, fascinating discussion today. Listen, for the audience members out there, I want you guys to tell us, have you ever been unfairly written up at work? Do you have a shitty boss? You work for a company that could possibly do things a little bit better? Let us know.
I think everybody has that.
I'm sure somebody somewhere has had something, but if you feel like there's an instance like,
Or maybe you have a great boss that's super nice and tells you
Yeah,
how
please
awesome
let
you
us
do.
know too.
yeah, either way, like if you've got some cues that other bosses could
I'm
take
looking.
from yours, let us know how they do. But yeah, and also let us know what you think about it. Is it okay for somebody? Is it okay for somebody to have a YouTube channel because they played a video game irresponsibly? Regardless of what year it is. What do you guys think about that? Maybe
I
we're
think
wrong.
if Logan Paul and Jake Paul can have a YouTube channel and do the shit they do, if somebody does something shitty in a video game, you should not be able to get rid of their channel unless you want to get rid of theirs.
everyone's channel. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're going to write one guy a ticket, you got to write everybody a ticket.
Yeah, especially if you're going to show a dead person in the suicide force in Japan and laugh
Or
about it.
Fake your
Piece of
murder in
shit.
front of your underage fans.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we're signing off here. We hope you get the Christmas. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Before we leave, can you hire Uber Eats to go pick up your Pizza Hut and deliver it to you?
Sort of, yeah. Some of the pizza places actually have integrated with Grubhub, DoorDash, and I don't know about Uber Eats, but Postmates. There's this.
That happened to
How
somebody
awesome would that be
that I
to
work
work
with.
to quote unquote work for Postmates or Grubhub and just go pick up people's food and then never bring it to just go home and eat it?
I had a
it happens.
coworker
Apparently it
order.
happens.
I had a coworker order Red Lobster, and
where the-
it never showed up.
like an actual lobster shut at
Yeah,
the door,
but it was
singing
picked
from
up.
the Little Mermaid. Cuckoo, cachoo.
What? what was that?
Sorry.
Do you shit in your sink still?
Bees.
Good night.